Great Plains Athletic Conference College Football. Today it's the Nebraska Wesleyan University Prairie Wolves hosting the Tigers of Dakota Wesleyan. This game is made possible by Lincoln Electric System. Use LES to save more. Union Bank, you belong here. And Nebraska Wesleyan University, where experience is the difference. Your experience.
Hard to believe it is early November in southeast Nebraska, but the weather today making it a very interesting matchup here for the Nebraska Wesleyan Prairie Wolves as they take on the Tigers from Dakota Wesleyan. Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Moats. Glad to have you here on 21 Sports along with Lucas Moorman today. Nebraska Wesleyan for the first time since 2008 looking to make it 4 straight victories in a season, again since 2008, so it's been at least 4 seasons since they've accomplished that feat. But one thing that's been working out for them is a new quarterback in the starting spot, and that's Tyler Francis, who's been 3-0 so far.
Yeah, it's been perfect since he's taken over. He's completed 69% of his passes for 622 yards, 5 touchdowns, including 3 last week against Briarcliff in the win. Also defensively for Nebraska Wesleyan, Cody Eiler, the senior, 3 interceptions 2 weeks ago in the win over Concordia, and they'll look to make Dakota Wesleyan one-dimensional, hopefully in the passing attack, as they got a tough runner against Josh Enders, number 4 in the nation.
And with more on Dakota Wesleyan, we bring in our third member of the broadcast team today, Brandon Axamid, who will be on the sidelines this afternoon. Brandon?
Guys, as you mentioned, the star player for the Dakota Wesleyan Tigers is none other than Josh Endres. He leads the conference and is 4th in the nation, as you mentioned, averaging 138 rushing yards per game. He has 3,131 career rushing yards, only needs 20 here this afternoon to break the Dakota Wesleyan career record. On top of that, he's 192 yards away from a single season record with 2 games left to go in the season. He's 2nd in the career list all time for Dakota Wesleyan scoring and is 5th in the nation in all-purpose yards per game. We should have a great matchup between the 2nd-ranked rush defense of the Prairie Wolves and the offensive juggernaut of Endres here today.
Brandon, thank you very much. And coming into this game, it is senior day. 13 seniors being recognized here at Able Stadium, playing their final home game for the Prairie Wolves. And one thing to keep in mind, too, in this particular matchup, Nebraska Wesleyan against Dakota Wesleyan here in Lincoln, 7-0. Stick around. We got the kickoff for you here. It is the Prairie Wolves and the Tigers, Nebraska Wesleyan and Dakota Wesleyan, coming up after this on 21 Sports. And we welcome you back here to Able Stadium, Nebraska Wesleyan University here on 21 Sports. Glad to have you here for GPAC football this afternoon as we get you ready for the kickoff here between the Tigers and the Wolves. And here we go, end-over-end kick here. And Cody Eiler picks it up at about the 7-yard line and takes it on the return, all on the near side, up to the 30, and finally tackled from behind, out of bounds, around the 40-yard line. They'll mark him at about the 41 perhaps, but a good return for Cody Eiler, the senior, playing in his final home game today against Dakota Wesleyan.
Right off the bat, you see the impact of Cody Eiler. Great field position to start for this Nebraska Wesleyan offense, which has kind of found its rhythm here in the last 3 games with Tyler Francis at the helm. And, you know, they're even approaching passing completions in a season. They're 19 away from setting a school record for passing completions, normed primarily as a running team.
First pass play from scrimmage intended for Jordan Delbaugh goes incomplete. And there you see the offense in the backfield. Again, Tyler Francis, the sophomore quarterback, Delbaugh with him in the backfield too. Larson, Pieper, and Clausen. Those are your receivers. The line looks like this. Barteldis, Westfall, Armstrong, Beebe, and Byerly making up that line on offense for the Prairie Wolves. Here we go, 2nd and 10. This is from their own 40-yard line. Slot on the right, 2 receivers right, 1 split to the near side. And it's a handoff, and it is Dustin Bryant who takes the carry and crawls ahead to about the 44-yard line and picks up 4 yards in the play. There you see the defensive lineman, Engelfeld, among those on that line. There's Mawson over there, Cervantes, one of the linebackers as well. Bergmeyer, McManus among the defensive backs for Dakota Wesleyan. 3rd, and we'll call it 6. This is from the 44. Tyler Francis out of the gun. Dropping back, toss over here to the near side to Delbaugh, goes incomplete. coverage, though, that time for Dakota Wesleyan. That was Matt McManus, who was right on the receiver, Jordan Delbaugh.
Dakota Wesleyan came with a blitz that time. A little pressure for Tyler Francis. You can see him talking over there on the sidelines, trying to iron things out. Had Delbaugh, but I think some of the fans may have wanted a pass interference on an excellent day here. 48 sunny and just a little bit of breeze now and then. Couldn't ask for more for the first week of November, that's for sure.
So here is Kelby Vandenberg to punt. And it will take a bounce at the 22. Quickly picked up and returned by Arthur Brown. And Brown is stopped at the 15-yard line. So Dakota Wesleyan, who at one point was in the top 25.
Yeah, started the season, preseason ranked team the first couple weeks. Lost a few close ones.
So they will put 2 wideouts to the far side, 1 split near side. And the quarterback is John Bain. Drop back pass is complete. Receiver that time from Dimitri Fahey. And he takes it ahead to the 21-yard line on that pickup of about 7. There you see the offensive backfield. As I mentioned, the quarterback, John Bain. There you see the receivers, Dirksen, Fahey, and Brown. The offensive line, Whitty, Erickson, Block, Little among them for Dakota Wesleyan. Second, and we'll call it 4. This is from the 21. Arthur Brown in that slot in the left side in motion. And it's Andrus who takes it and picks up about 2 yards to the 23-yard line. His forward progress was limited that time by the Prairie Wolf defense.
Well, it's going to be tough sledding for Enders up front. And part of it, that defensive line, you're looking at rather Latimer, Walton, Tukolsky, all doing a great job. And then those linebackers able to fill. Kotzer is going today, a little banged up. Reeves has been having a nice couple games last time, causing some fumbles and turnovers. But that front 4 for Nebraska Wesleyan, Walton, Latimer, they're those guys that have really been the glue that holds this defense together. Second in the nation against the run, so it'll be tough sledding here for Enders.
Only allowing 65 yards on the ground per game. Bain in the pocket. Jennings on his heel, forcing him deep in the pocket in the end zone, and he has to throw it out of bounds. And Cody Eiler tried reaching up to maybe try to grab that pass, but Bain felt the pressure coming in. David Jennings was leading the charge that time.
And that's exactly what Nebraska Wesleyan wants to do. They want to make John Bain throw it, and that's not to say that Bain isn't a very sound quarterback. Here you see him giving chase. Airs it out, throws it out of bounds. Eiler tries to go and get it, but Bain's very capable back there. He's nearly setting school records for passing yards himself, set it for yards in a season. Pressure comes this time.
Here's the punt from Derek Carlson. Takes a bounce across the 50, and Dakota Wesleyan will mark it. And they will put it at about the 47-yard line. That's where Wesleyan will have it on their second drive of the game.
You just finished that thought, Jeff. You know, the Bain, very capable, but they would rather that Dakota Wesleyan pass for 300 yards against them than get Endress going and have him rumble for his 120, 130 yards. He's really, when he's running downhill and running for 4 or 5 yards a pop, that's when Dakota Wesleyan is really tough to stop. And they'd rather take their chances with their secondary, and Eiler and Kotzer dropping back in the linebacker spot and things like that against the passing attack of Dakota Wesleyan.
Francis handing it off to Dustin Bryant, tries to cut to the outside, but taken down that time by Dustin Bergmeyer of Dakota Wesleyan, who was able to read where Bryant was heading. And Bergmeyer makes a stop. As you take a look at this again on the replay.
And they're going to try and pound the running game. That time Bryant was unable to get outside, but Dakota Wesleyan last in the conference against the run, so they give up some rushing yards. And got to think Nebraska Wesleyan is going to try and establish that run game early. Even though with Tyler Francis, they have put it in the air more often than not. They're crowding the box now, Dakota Wesleyan.
Delbaugh and Davis are the wideouts near side as Francis drops back. Looks to throw, pass incomplete. Looked like Brooks Earhart was the intended target that time for the Prairie Wolves. Again, Francis in his 4th straight start this season
And he's been very efficient since taking over, completing almost 70% of his passes. That's all you can ask a guy to do. 620 yards, 5 touchdowns, had 3 last week. Also had a rushing touchdown last week, counted for 4 of the scores in the win over Briar Cliff. Some of his favorite targets, Bryant last week was the leading receiver, and then Delbaugh over the middle. Easy to lose Delbaugh, and they find him a lot.
Francis looking to throw here on 3rd down, up the middle, and Pieper with a diving catch and a first down for Nebraska Wesleyan. They will mark it at the 22-yard line of Dakota Wesleyan, and Francis again likes to air it out, and that time Pieper made the catch.
Take a look here. They did bring some pressure. Francis steps up. Pieper able to go and get that one. It was thrown just maybe a little ahead of him, but is able to adjust his route, bring it back towards the sideline, and make the catch. A big gainer for a first down from Francis. Dakota Wesleyan, like I say, brought 2 on the blitz that time, and was one-on-one with Pieper over the middle, and they were able to hook up.
Francis will send 2 wideouts near side, 1 far side. Francis pump fakes once. In fact, he'll take it, has enough time to throw, and Jordan Delbaugh, how about that for a grab? The little guy went out as a wide receiver to the far side, picks up about 9 on that pass, about a yard short of the first down.
Francis makes this happen with his feet, has the pump fake, then a little pressure, gets the defense to pull up and commit a little bit. Great job by Delbaugh, though, to hang on, takes a hit. That's kind of been his MO all season. He'll catch that pass over the middle, take a hit for you, hang on to the ball, great possession type receiver, despite his vertically challenged stature, let's say.
2nd and about a yard here for the Prairie Wolves. It's a toss to Bryant, and Bryant is stopped back at the 15-yard line. So about a 2-yard loss on the play.
Engelfeld was one of the first guys there.
And we got an injured Tiger on the field.
Looks like that's Jeff Mason.
So a timeout on the field with 10:17 to go here in this first quarter. We're scoreless. Back after this on 21 Sports.
It's just surprising when I walk in how much it feels like home, even though we've only been here a month.
Having a baby is a definite lifestyle change. Grayson's the boss around here.
We moved in 2 days before he was born. Union Bank really helped us. They were so personable. They really got to know our story and care that we needed to get into the house before the baby was born.
We're starting a family and developing our lives together in a place that we can call home.
Your life is what you make of it. In Lincoln, some are making it fun, some are making it successful, others are making it vibrant, refreshing, economical, creative, interesting. They're making Lincoln home. So, make it young, make it a family, make it a booming career, make it whatever makes you happy. Make your life right in Lincoln.
Hi, this is Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy. Did you know that proper insulation levels can help reduce your heating and cooling costs? You can check your attic insulation level with this very advanced high-tech tool called a ruler. Make sure you have 14 to 16 inches of insulation for maximum energy efficiency. It'll help reduce drafts and allow your heating and cooling systems to not have to work so hard. Think of it as saving money by the inches, $1, $2, $3, you get the idea. For more ways to save, visit les.com today. See you next time.
Dr. R.E. Cycle here with a simple but important message. Recycling starts at home. That's right, it's up to you to take the first step. Setting up a home recycling system is easy, and you don't need much space. Find out how at recycle.lincoln.ne.gov. Recycling is good for our community and our planet, and you don't need to be a genius like me to get started. So do the right thing, the recycle thing.
There you see Jeff Mason. He is being carried off or carted off by the training staff here at Nebraska Wesleyan as he suffers what may be a severe leg injury of some kind. They did get the air cast out. We'll try to follow up on that to see how serious it is. When they get an air cast out, you know it's not good.
And it's not good for Dakota Wesleyan either way. Third leading tackler, Mason, so big loss for them. Hopefully he's all right. They get him off the field and able to take a look at it. But Nebraska Wesleyan threatening here on 3rd down.
Here's a pass by Francis over the middle, goes incomplete. And Brooks Earhart was the intended target. Good coverage, though, from Dakota Wesleyan that time, which happened to be Matt McManus.
A couple times McManus in on some breakups early as Francis tried to hit him over the middle. So we'll see if they either decide to go for it here. You're looking at about a 32-yard field goal attempt.
If they go for it.
But it looks like Francis out there on 4th and call it a long 3.
So they'll go for it here on 4th down. Wide out on each side. Delbaugh lined up in the slot on the left. Here is Francis looking to throw. Pass complete to Bryant coming out of the backfield. Dives ahead. Did he get the first down?
I don't think so.
I don't think
he's
he
going to
did.
be about 2 yards shy.
Yep. So Dakota Wesleyan gets a big stop. And so the Prairie Wolves on downs will give the ball back to the Tigers. Let's take a look at this again. There you see Francis. And
in the last 2-3 weeks, they've had a lot of success with those short routes out of the backfield, kind of not accounting for the back. But this time you see 2 Dakota Wesleyan Tigers right there to wrap him up, stop him short. So the gamble early doesn't pay off. Instead of a Lorraine field goal, you try and pick up the first down. Tigers take over. Bain back out there, but a long field to go, and you trust your defense at this point. I mean, your defense has been the backbone all season long, so back them up in their own territory.
Here's a handoff to Endress, and Endress around the 15 takes it ahead to about the 18-yard line. Let's head downstairs, check in with Brandon. Brandon?
Guys, Josh Endress is not the only offensive weapon this Dakota Wesleyan team has. Quarterback John Bain has thrown for just under 1,700 yards coming into this game, and he's also a couple records just shy, including a total offensive record and a passing record. He only needs 158 yards passing and only 324 more yards total offense to be the Tigers' all-time leader in those categories. Watch out for him as well.
All right, Brandon, thanks. And Bain on that last play may have eclipsed that mark. Again, he came in with 1,699 yards heading into today's matchup. Swing pass far side.
Double pass.
It's a double pass downfield. They'll air it out, and it goes incomplete. Cody Eiler with the coverage that time on the intended target, Derek Carlson, as they go from the swing pass over to Steven Batista. And Batista looks downfield for Carlson. There you see it again here on the replay.
Well, the senior, Cody Eiler, pretty good position there, able to go up, joust with it, bring it away. The senior stayed true there, didn't bite on the play fake, the swing pass out. And Clausen, one of the favorite targets. He has the most receptions, not necessarily the most yards, but they line him up in a lot of different positions for the Tigers.
Little play action here from Bain. Short toss. Arthur Brown gets it. He's on the near sideline and finally ran out of bounds at about the 43-yard line, and a first down for Dakota Wesleyan.
Arthur Brown with a little speed after the catch there. Just a drag route across the formation. Got some field in front of him.
Take a look at this again. There you see Brown on that reception, and now at midfield at the 43.
Brown averages 9.2 yards per catch coming into the contest, so more than his average there.
Endress is bear hugged and tackled, taken down by Taylor Tukolsky, the junior from Firth, former Norris Titan.
That's exactly what Nebraska Wesleyan wants to do. They want to slow Endress. That's the focus. Take away that running attack and make John Bain throw the ball. They'll take a few big plays in the passing game as long as they don't result in scores, but they want to slow this rushing attack down, and they want to do it primarily with that front four. Coach Kroom said all week they want to play fast, flow to the football, and they're able to do that more in that front four, get some pressure and dominates up front.
Pass complete to Carlson. Cody Eiler with a big tackle there, but Carlson manages to pick up about 4 yards on that reception to the 47-yard line.
Sure tackle by Cody Eiler coming up from his corner spot, the senior. Textbook tackle there for Eiler at his last home game here. Had a big outing last time they were here at home against Concordia. 3 picks on the day 2 weeks ago. And we mentioned Kotzer. He's out there, but he's a little dinged up. He's padded up pretty heavy playing with the injury gutting through it here on senior day.
Bain looks to throw, and it's caught on the far side of the 45-yard line in Prairie Wolf territory. It was Dimitri Fahey with the catch.
And it's a highlight reel one here. Long pass for Bain. Take a look. He has it, goes to the turf, bobbles it, able to secure it. Nice catch by Fahey.
That's good concentration on his part, too.
That's a tough throw. That's a tougher throw than you think for Bain. That's a long ways on those cross-field passes like that. He's looked through his progressions, though, and found Fahey, who bailed him out with the highlight reel catch.
Bain hands it off Andrews, trying to get it behind a blocker, but takes it ahead. And tackled from behind at about the 42-yard line of Nebraska Wesleyan. Phil Latimer over there to make the stop. Had some help right around him, too. Big stop coming in there, that time Spencer Fecht. So it's second and we'll call it 7 here from the 42 of Wesleyan.
During this 3-game winning streak, Prairie Wolves holding their opponents just 1.5 yards per rush. You got about 2, maybe 3 that time, but against the number 4th rusher in the nation.
Long pass downfield from Bain, and it's incomplete. And the intended target was Fahey once again. Coverage that time from Eric Richards of Nebraska Wesleyan.
You know, as you scout Dakota Wesleyan, one of the things they like to do, they like to go downfield in their passing game. Some long passes. They'll go to Carlson, try and go to Brown now and then, but they would prefer those types. A lot of times they'll toss it up, let Carlson try and go get it, as he's a nice target for them. But the short game not really utilize a whole lot of the Tigers. We've seen a couple short crossing routes, but they'll try and take advantage of big chunks through the air.
3rd and 7, Bain again in the pocket. Complete to Brown, far side, and Richards wraps him up and bear hugs him, puts him out of bounds at the 31-yard line. So the yard markers move downfield. Dakota Wesleyan so far sustaining this drive.
John Bain, another hookup with his favorite target on the year, Brown, now has over 40 catches this season. Moves the chains again, and it's been the passing game so far for Dakota Wesleyan that's been successful. You know, Endress yet to get rolling, but Bain has shown that he can carry him through the air. And something was funny there.
Yeah, penalty flags come out. It was almost like that it's a false start. It was almost like a kind of a wild.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty.
It was almost like they were setting up kind of a wildcat a little bit in that direct snap to Andrus, but with Bain not necessarily making the call. So 1st and long, back at the 36. Brown in motion. Bain in the pocket. Walton after him, throws the ball, and it goes out of bounds, incomplete anyway, as the ball was dropped. It was more of a tip drill for those guys. So Bain throws an incompletion. Dakota Wesleyan up in Mitchell, South Dakota. Of course, Mitchell, South Dakota, known for the Corn Palace. So if you go all
one of the
way
longer
north,
trips in the GPAC as well. One of the teams, I know these southern teams, they kind of always dread that trip up to the world's only, home of the world's only, Corn Palace.
Right off Interstate 90. Second and long here again. Pressure on, short screen toss, broken up, incomplete. And it's Russell Walton who broke that play up.
Walton got a hand on it. They tried to get that screen. He was all over that, blew that play up. And then I thought that Brandon Reeves was maybe going to pick that one off the tip play from Walton. You know, Jeff, Walton, we know the senior, the preseason NAL American. We don't maybe call his name as much as we did last year. And I think we just forget how often he gets double teamed. If you just take a minute, you just look at that line play. Man, Russell Walton is putting up with a double team almost every time, and that really lets, you know, Latimer, Tukolsky, and those guys make some plays, but Walton putting up good numbers against double teams.
Bain in trouble, needs to run out, penalty flag thrown. Short toss to Andrus, gets it. He's to the 25, knocked out of bounds short of the 20, but the penalty flag thrown out in the backfield. This could be a holding penalty against Dakota Wesleyan.
I got to think that's...
On the offense, number 60, 10-yard penalty.
Nathan Little was the one guilty of the holding penalty, so that will be moved back. And they'll mark it down back at the 46 of Wesleyan. So first down marker is at the 21. The ball spotted at the 46-yard line in Prairie Wolf territory.
Well, so far, all this pressure, Jeff, coming with just the rush of the 4 down linemen. We haven't seen any blitzes from Nebraska Wesleyan yet, and Coach Kroom said that's one thing he doesn't want to have to do. He feels more content just letting his front 4 get to the quarterback in passing situations, really lets his linebackers flow to the ball faster.
Swing toss by Bain. It is complete to Michael Brown. And Brown takes it down to about the 41-yard line. And that'll bring up 4th down, and the punting unit coming out here for the Tigers. What looked promising for Dakota Wesleyan ends up being a loss and another 3 and out. And the holding penalty did not help.
Holding penalty just really kind of shot that drive in the foot, Jeff.
Things went south from there. It's a running rugby-style punt that goes out of bounds. And the Prairie Wolves have the football again. Dakota Wesleyan, home of the Corn Palace up in Mitchell, South Dakota. In fact, that's where they play their basketball games up there, too. And with more about that, here's Brandon.
Guys, as you mentioned, Mitchell, South Dakota is the home of the Dakota Wesleyan Tigers. They are crazy about the corn. The high school mascots are the Colonels. Their radio call station letters are KORN. We have a quiz question for you about the Corn Palace. Do you know what year that the Corn Palace was first built?
That's a good question.
I've been to the Corn Palace numerous times, but I've never researched the history, I guess, of the Corn Palace. Always been there to do some games and doing basketball games at the Corn Palace. It's always a fun view. You get to sit on the ends up in almost like the big booths if you're looking something on the stage. There's a stage in there as well if you've been there. I have a funny story I'll share about that. We'll get you that trivia answer later this quarter as well.
2nd and 2. Hand off Bryant. And he dodges a couple of tackles, stumbles ahead, picks up the first down, stopped at the 29-yard line.
Good yards after contact there, fighting forward. Bryant last week led the team rushing and in receiving yards. 85 yards in the ground, one of the higher totals all season for Nebraska Wesleyan running back. In fact, in the last couple of years, they've kind of been running back by committee. Bryant has kind of stepped up and answered the bell in that running back department this season. He's been the guy to carry the load most of the time for Nebraska Wesleyan.
From the 29, 1st and 10. Delbaugh motion, handoff instead to Bryant. And Dakota Wesleyan quickly in there to make the stop. Tackle made by that time by Anthony Cervantes.
And he's a returning all GPAC player for Dakota Wesleyan.
About 1 yard picked up on the play. Up at the 30. Also some changes coming up here at Able Stadium, and we'll talk about later on. Shovel pass ahead from Tyler Francis. And a quick wrap up that time across the 30 at about the 33-yard line.
Eric Royce, one of the first guys in there on that defensive line. Both defensive this afternoon really getting to the ball quickly, flying around. Black and blue shirts of Dakota Wesleyan. Just a 3-man defensive front. They do sneak some linebackers up now and then. You had that big nose guard, 93 out there, Matt Tuttle, almost 6'2", 295 pounds.
Francis on 3rd down, tossed to Delbaugh, and Delbaugh is stopped. Tackled that time by Dustin Bergmeyer. 4th down, and the Prairie Wolves will have to punt.
Good job by Dakota Wesleyan this time. They bring pressure and then one-on-one on the outside with Delbaugh. That's a tough tackle to make, but Dustin Bergmeyer able to bring Delbaugh down. As if Delbaugh gets loose there, he might be able to get to that first down stick, but good sure open field tackle that time after the blitz up the middle.
Vandenberg with the punt. Brown gets it at the 33. He'll try to return it, but Seth Wardeen on him. Brown trying to maneuver out of trouble and finally tackled at the 30.
You see Wardeen right there, after he turned the play back around, kept with it. And Brown kind of carrying it like a loaf of bread out there. Take a look at the end of the run here. Wardeen has the right idea. Comes back and he's going to try and strip this one free as everyone's trying to tackle Brown. A little more sure of that football, especially in those return situations. In an evenly matched contest like today, one big turnover or a costly penalty could be the difference.
So from the 30, 1st and 10. Bain, pass complete to Fahey. Eric Richards meets up with him and forces him out of bounds at the 20, make that 36-yard line.
And we've seen Fahey make a couple catches, Brown with a couple catches. Clausen, the tight end slot / wide receiver, he's really a do-everything kind of guy for him. He's kind of been shadowed by Cody Eiler. They kind of make sure that Eiler's always on his side of the field. Maybe not locked up in man coverage, but that was something they wanted to make sure this afternoon. If Clausen was out there, that Eiler was on his side of the field.
Andrus takes the handoff, gets about 4 to the 40-yard line and a first down.
Might be the biggest gain of the afternoon by Andrus.
Time about to wind out here, and the first quarter comes to a close. Through one, we're scoreless between the Prairie Wolves and the Tigers here on 21 Sports.
Your life is what you make of it. In Lincoln, some are making it fun, some are making it successful, others are making it vibrant, refreshing, economical, creative, interesting. They're making Lincoln home. So, make it young, make it a family, make it a booming career, make it whatever makes you happy. Make your life right in Lincoln.
Jeff Moats, Lucas Moorman, Brandon Axement, and our entire 21 Sports crew, and we head down to Brandon, who's got an injury update for us. Brandon?
Guys, as you saw earlier in that first quarter, a player went down for Dakota Wesleyan, and that was Jeff Mason. I was watching him. He got carted off the field, and he has since left Able Stadium. An ambulance pulled up in the parking lot. He had the air cast on, and they took him away. They couldn't give him enough medical assistance here. It didn't look too serious. They didn't have the flashing lights or anything, but we all hope the best for him. As you mentioned, he's one of the 3 leading tacklers. He's definitely going to be missed on the Tigers' defense.
So here on 1st and 10, pass to Fahey, far side, across the 50, and tackled at about the 49-yard line by Eric Richards. And Spencer Fecht had a hand and eye stop, too, on Dimitri Fahey, who makes the catch and gives Dakota Wesleyan a first down.
Dakota Wesleyan in that first quarter was limited to just 11 yards on the ground. They did get 67 through the air. So Nebraska Wesleyan, the Prairie Wolves, doing what they want to do, kind of sticking to their game plan, slow down the rushing attack, make them earn it through the air.
So 2 receivers here to the near side, one in the slot actually, one to the far side. Brown in motion now on a counter to the far side, and penalty flag thrown and stopped right at the line of scrimmage at the 49-yard line.
Well, this one might come back too. Let's listen in.
We do have
holding
a little blooper rag
on the offense, number 72.
I think that one was against, that time Erickson was trying to slow down Latimer. And Latimer just took a look. Looked like he was going to make the tackle, and then all of a sudden his body completely changed his direction. So an easy call for the referee in the backfield that time for Erickson, a little too much jersey.
So 1st and long. Back at the Dakota Wesleyan 41. Bain over the middle, complete to Brown, back into positive yardage, and takes it down to the 42-yard line of Nebraska Wesleyan, about 3 short of the first down.
Over the middle that time, just getting free in between the coverage. Wardine comes up, makes the tackle. But when they have got passing yards, they've been in bigger chunks, 12 to 20-yard passes on the afternoon so far.
2nd and 3. Loose football, fumble on the play, bad exchange, but it looks like Bain jumped on top of it and recovered the ball. So between him and Andrus, there was a communication error there by both players. Let's take a look at this again.
Kind of a zone read or a counter there, and yeah, just off the hip of Andrus that time, and Russell Walton about a half a step from having a fumble recovery. That's something Wesleyan's been doing during this 3-game winning streak is forcing some turnovers. The 3 interceptions against Concordia, a couple fumbles last week, so 5 seconds to snap it here.
Down to 2, they finally get the snap. Bain to Brown at the 41, inside the 40, and tackled up that time, doubled up and tackled around the 37-yard line. Stopped by Michael Hittner. Also Reeves over there to help out in the tackle as well.
That time, Dakota Wesleyan almost took a page right out of the Nebraska Wesleyan playbook as they just left one of their slot backs kind of leak out into the flat. Short pass, picks up decent yardage after the catch, moves the chains. So despite the holding penalty, they are able to move the sticks, get a first down, continue their march.
Andrus with the handoff. Russell Walton right from behind takes him down at about the 35. The one thing that Wesleyan done, as you've alluded to already, they've been stopping the run from Andrus. The one thing that has not been working is maybe the pass coverage a little bit, because we've seen completions made by Arthur Brown, even Dimitri Fahey a few times for big gains.
Well, and I think that's something Coach Kroom is, some of his notes from the week, he kind of alluded to the fact that, hey, we may give up some passing yards, and we're okay with that as long as we don't give up points. A little screenplay.
Brown with reception. He's inside the 30, picks up the first down, and forced back down. Hittner and Reeves and a few other Prairie Wolves make the stop. They'll mark his forward progress, though, at the 24-yard line.
They tried to run the same play earlier, a wide receiver screen towards the inside, but Michael Brown made one-man miss that time, and he was able to pick up first down yardage. Used his speed, ran right by the first tackle, and then it took 3 white shirts to bring him down as the Tigers moving closer and closer to the red zone.
So 1st and 10 from the 24. There's Bain rolling near side, keeping it and being forced out of bounds. Michael Hittner comes up, meets up with him, and just runs him out. And no gain on the play, still at the 24.
Bain just mobile enough, has a little bit of speed. They'll get him a run here or there, but not a dual threat guy by any means. He's a pure passer.
6'4", 185 pounds is Bain. Got pretty good height to be a quarterback, especially at this level. Little play action here. Pressure's on and a sack. And it's Latimer who comes running in with the stop.
I'll tell you what, Phil Latimer that time too, he exploded through the hole there and then just reached out and snatched Bain out of midair. Just looked like Bain was maybe able to outrun him, and then bang. Latimer, the diving tackle, untouched. Quick first step that time as they tried to run the rollout away from Latimer, and he gets the sack.
So off the sack, the ball will be at the 34-yard line. There you see Phil Latimer. Only a sophomore out of Broomfield, Colorado. Bain on 3rd down. Pressure's on. Tukolsi on his heels too. Looking to throw downfield, up in the air, and it's incomplete. Michael Hittner, deep coverage that time on the intended target, Dimitri Fahey. So Hittner Almost had a pick.
And they let him jockey back and forth a little bit there too, as Bain had to escape the pressure, and he knew, good awareness, knew he was creeping up on that line of scrimmage as he was rolling out. Had to get rid of it, hitting her good coverage downfield, so it's almost like 2 steps forwards, 1 step back for Dakota Wesleyan as they had the holding penalty converted, then got another first down, then the big sack, and bring in the punter again.
Here's the boot. Short punt, but it's a high spiraling kick. It goes into the end zone just barely across the goal line for the touchback.
Carlson, the punter, and the tight end / wide receiver. So, and as a punter, he's one of the best around as well. Him and Vandenberg in the top 5 in the GPAC. Nebraska Wesleyan offense this afternoon, maybe sputtering a little early here. Only 43 yards in that opening quarter. They had the ball for 7 minutes, but see if Francis can't get things going through the air a little bit. He was 5 of 9 in that first frame.
Been mostly defense between these two ball clubs this afternoon. So from the 20, here's Francis rolling left. In trouble, and he is thrown out of bounds, taken down for a loss too. Calvin Hunoff coming in and making the stop.
And you see at the end of this play, there was just maybe a little indecision by Francis that time. He looked like he had made his mind up. He was going to take off, try and get something out of nothing running the ball, but then Hunoff closed in, and he thought maybe he could pump fake his way out of it, but Hunoff, the Bertrand, Nebraska native, had none of that. Rolled him out for the sack.
2nd and long. Francis dropping back. Short toss, incomplete. In fact, no specific target, but coverage that time from Andrew Devaney.
You know, Bryant was out there. They tried to run maybe a little delayed screen to Bryant on that swing pass, but that was in a lot of traffic. Francis dodged a bullet there. That one could have went dangerously wrong, as there was an open path for 6 if that one gets picked off.
So 3rd down, and we'll call it long. Back at the 16 for Nebraska Wesleyan.
Dalton Teifalt, the senior, at the bottom of your screen, back out there for the first time since his shoulder injury.
Francis throws the ball upfield, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Ryan Larson, but almost picked that time. Devaney over there in that coverage for Dakota Wesleyan.
Yeah, Ryan Larson turns into a defensive back real quick here. He helps out his quarterback, Francis, knocking this one free. Sailed a little bit on Francis that time, so another 4th down, and Vandenberg out to punt.
Kelby with the boot. Brown picks it up at the 44 and only scampers ahead past the 50. In fact, they'll mark him down at the 50-yard line.
Chris Ferreira, senior, or excuse me, on the other side of things. Forcing outside is Fedoris, the sophomore. As Brown showed that he gets a little run, use some of that speed, get down the sideline as well.
So this will be 1st and 10 at the 50 for Bain. Pressure on, short toss complete to Endress, and Endress is taken down by Brett Kotzer behind the line of scrimmage at the 49, and we got an injured Prairie Wolf on the field.
I think it's Reeves.
It is Brandon Reeves.
Take a look here. They set up the screen. Reeves in pursuit.
There you see he went down.
It's rolled up on maybe.
Yep.
Looks like an arm as they tend to him.
Arm or shoulder. We have an injury timeout here at Able Stadium. 8:22 to go first half. We're still scoreless on 21 Sports.
Your life is what you make of it. In Lincoln, some are making it fun, some are making it successful, others are making it vibrant, refreshing, economical, creative, interesting. They're making Lincoln home. So, make it young, make it a family, make it a booming career, make it whatever makes you happy. Make your life right in Lincoln.
Reeves being attended to now here on the sideline by the training staff. 2nd and long here. Bain airing it out, downfield, up in the air, and it's knocked away. Carlson, the intended target. But Cody Eiler makes the stop.
I talked about it earlier, Jeff, and they said they were going to try and keep Cody Eiler wherever Carlson was. Because that's what they like to do with Carlson. They just like to throw it out there, let him go up, try and make a play, outplay the defensive back, and more often than not, he makes a play, uses his size.
So, Dakota Wesleyan here on 3rd and 11. Bain in the pocket, in trouble, Walton on his tail, and he has to throw it out of bounds. The Prairie Wolf defense just easily getting their way all the way into the pocket and going after Bain, the quarterback, and Bain has to throw it away to get out of trouble, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Walton and Latimer up front have just been a handful for that offensive line. That time Walton just shoved his blocker to the ground and went right after Bain. See if Eiler gets a chance here.
Here's the punt from Carlson. It takes a bounce, and this might work in the favor of Dakota Wesleyan, but it bounces ahead and back, and they'll spot it at the 14.
Nebraska Wesleyan hasn't had great field position so far in this one. They started the game with a nice return by Eiler out at the 40. The last couple of punts, 20 and 15-yard line to start. A long field for this offense is yet to get clicking this afternoon.
7:43 to go, first half. And if you're just joining us, yep, it's been all defense. Neither offense has exploded for anything here, and here is a handoff. Fullback that time taking the carry. Looks like John Reeder, freshman out of Ralston.
Well, you know, Nebraska Wesleyan's always looking to establish the running game. I mean, that's been their way of doing things, but this season it's been the passing department. Prairie Wolf's passing attack has completed 165 passes as a team, 19 completions of a school record. That was done back in 93 and 97.
Here's Francis, and it's Davis with a diving catch at the 22-yard line, 2 short of the first down. 3rd and 2 coming up.
Going to the outside, getting a few yards in that short passing game, and that's been what has worked for Francis. He's excelled finding those guys, sometimes over the middle. More often than not, it's Delbaugh over the middle or some of his tight ends, but the wide receiver and Dustin Bryant, the leading receiver last week, out of the backfield on those short routes, and then let his playmakers make a play.
Toss to Bryant. Bryant on 3rd down, scampers up to the 24. He may have enough for the first down.
Pretty generous spot there, Jeff.
Let's see where they spot it. Yep, first down. So,
Coach Simple over there on the sideline, he doesn't necessarily agree in his first season at the helm of the Tigers of Dakota Wesleyan, but he's no stranger to the GPAC. Simple played his collegiate football days at University of Sioux Falls, part of some of their national championship runs, and he's been an assistant within the league, so he's been around the GPAC for quite some time.
Francis gets out of a tackle, finally stopped behind the line of scrimmage. But they'll spot him right at the line, it looks like, at the 24, so no gain. And we've always talked about this with Tyler Francis. When he moves, you don't see quickness, but he's got some quick feet.
Yeah, he has good footwork. He's able to avoid some pressure and move the pocket a little bit, step up, usually deliver a pass, and every once in a while he'll scamper out for 5-10 yards. And not the fleetest of foot, but good footwork, good awareness.
Delbaugh coming around, but it's Bryant who gets the handoff, and Dustin Bryant is tackled at the 28-yard line and gets 4 on the pickup.
Counter play here this time as they fake to Delbaugh and then give it back to Bryant, but then he reversed his field, able to get some positive yards out of it. 3rd and 6 here for Nebraska Wesleyan. He's struggled to put together first downs. Just 1 of 4 on 3rd down in that opening quarter.
Pieper, the wideout near side, split to the far side is Connor Davis. Earhart in motion. Here on 3rd down. Francis over the middle, complete to Delbaugh. Enough for a first down. McManus finally stops him at the 39-yard line.
Complete to senior Jordan
Delbaugh again in his favorite spot, coming across the middle. Francis finds him.
First down.
And Delbaugh almost ducks under the tackle to pick up more yardage. See Delbaugh here from Francis. Nearly gets free there too. That low center of gravity for Delbaugh.
Pieper and Earhart split near side. Delbaugh and Larson to the far side. Francis, short screen toss. It is complete to Dustin Bryant. And Bryant grabs it in enough time and reaches ahead to about the 40.
Does a good job to just catch that ball there. A lot of traffic in that middle screen. Bryant goes up, snares it, gets a yard, but through that traffic, he's fortunate just to haul in the pass.
2nd and 9. 3.5 to go here in this first half. Francis, near side, Earhart, complete. Forward progress puts him at the 45-yard line before he stopped.
That's a good sure tackle by Anthony Cervantes, the sophomore from Burbank, California.
So on 3rd down here, 4 to go. Effect, make that Pieper split near side. Francis looks to throw. Delbaugh slightly underthrown to him, incomplete.
Pass intended for Delbaugh falls incomplete.
Even if that one's complete, Dustin Bergmeyer's right in the hip pocket of Delbaugh. I'm not sure he would have got to the sticks anyway, but again, a punting situation. Wesleyan gets a couple first downs, but just unable to keep a drive going much past midfield.
So on 4th down, once again, here's Kelby Vandenberg, gets the snap and a high spiraling punt. Brown makes a fair catch at the 21-yard line.
Fielded by number 1 Arthur Brown.
3 timeouts for each squad left here, so with 2:38, plenty of time for Bain and company here, the Tigers, to move their way down the field. Their whole playbook available, run, pass. You got a little bit of time to do what you need to do here and try and get some points on board before half.
And what's been a non-factor has been the ground attack from Endress.
You talk about a lot of time on the clock. I don't know what time that Corn Palace was built. We'll get the trivia answer coming up yet this half.
Pump fake, and Bain is suplexed by Russell Walton.
Bain is given his walking papers.
Russell Walton
44.
Having a day here. And I can't believe I just said suplex in a football game because that's what he did. Take a look at this. Watch what he does. He bear hugs him.
And he suplexes him. You're exactly right.
Do you think Vince McMahon needs to see a highlight of that?
Yeah.
Wow. Russell Walton with a big stop.
Well, that's just a mismatch there. Is Josh Endress, he can run the ball, but he can't block Russell Walton that time as Walton went right around him. There it was, 1892.
Well, Russell Walton there you see. We'll show the trivia question again here in a moment if you just missed it. Here's Bain with a pass, and Michael Brown could not complete the catch. So let's see.
Number 15, Michael Brown.
What year was the Corn Palace built in Mitchell, South Dakota? 1892.
The third different Corn Palace since 1892. And that the corn mural plays, you know, they change that every years.
Hand off that time. Another short gain, still not even close to the line of scrimmage. And timeout being taken here.
Bill Latimer.
And Latimer coming in with a big stop, and timeout taken.
Nebraska Wesleyan.
So with a minute 41 to go here in this first half, scoreless between the Prairie Wolves and the Tigers on 21 Sports.
It's just surprising when I walk in how much it feels like home, even though we've only been here a month.
Having a baby is a definite lifestyle change. Grayson's the boss around here.
We moved in 2 days before he was born. Union Bank really helped us. They were so personable. They really got to know our story and care that we needed to get into the house before the baby was born.
We're starting a family and developing our lives together in a place that we can call home.
Early November here in Lincoln, you wouldn't think that was the case with the way the weather is today. Sunshine at kickoff, temperature was 48 degrees. Probably into the 50s by this point. Here is the boot. Carlson with a high spiraling punt. Eiler underneath it at the 46. He'll take it to the near side, gets a block, and finally ran out of bounds. And now we got penalty flags coming out, and another late flag coming out too. They'll mark it at about the 40, but let's see what the penalty was over here back around the 46. Maybe a hold.
Yeah, Eiler does a nice job to make the first man miss, and then he picks up a block. West Dakota Wesleyan pointing against the Prairie Wolves, but then there's, like I say, that other flag over there too, so they'll sort it all out here. Short field for Nebraska Wesleyan if it would stand where it's at. With plenty of time, 90 seconds, 2 timeouts.
Again, there was that flag that was thrown out around the Wesleyan sideline.
On the return team, number 6, we have a dead ball, personal foul on number 82 on the defense.
So let's see how they mark this off. They're still look like a little.
Would they offset
here.
Each other?
Well, the one was a dead ball, so I think it's going to go. You'll take the block in the back, mark that off from the end of the run, then move it forward on the dead ball personal foul, and that should be where we start 1st and 10.
The return was made from the 46.
The real question is, where was the block in the back? So they put the ball down at the 44, and then they're going to mark off the 15 and the personal foul. I don't think we're going to get an explanation.
No.
That's how it is going to go ahead and work its out.
So they'll put it
the dead ball.
Yep, they'll put it at the 41 of Dakota Wesleyan with 90 seconds remaining here in the first half. So the Prairie Wolves within reach here. Let's see what they can do on 1st and 10. Boy, a long time for Francis to try to work out of the pocket, but he was bear hugged that time by Anthony Cervantes for a loss of yards. This will be back at the 48-yard line.
The Tigers have brought pressure on a blitz all afternoon. Cervantes this time comes through, able to wrap up Francis. Takes a loss on it. At the very least here, you'd like to get in field goal range, try and let Lorraine boot one through, get some points on the board before the half ends.
Dustin Bryant loses the football, and Dakota Wesleyan jumps on top of it. They got the ball back. And it looked like McManus was the guy that jumped on top of it.
And I'm not sure if it was an exchange or if someone got a hand in there.
It may have been something where somebody got a hand in and knocked the ball from Dustin Bryant's hands. Watch it again.
He has it.
Yep.
And then just a scrum. So just like that.
Chris Ferreira actually made the fumble recovery for Dakota Wesleyan. So now with 52 seconds remaining before halftime, the Tigers with a chance here to maybe set up and try a field goal here if they can work the ball downfield. Pass to the far side, complete to Brown. Brown forced out of bounds on the far side by Cody Island.
Good job, though, by Brown to get out of bounds, stop the clock. They got to pick up quite a few yards because the field goal special teams department for Dakota Wesleyan has not exactly been a standout so far this season.
Ball at the 46, second and a yard.
Porter, their field goal kicker, just 3 of 9 on the year on field goals, and his long is of 27 yards.
Bain again. Complete. And it's Fahey who makes the catch, gets the first down at the 39.
Well, more importantly, he stops the clock again. They're working the sidelines, 41 seconds left here. They have all 3 timeouts, so a lot of time here for this Tigers offense as they try and get some points on the board here. Neither team
Here's Bain on 1st and 10. And it's almost intercepted by Seth Wardeen. He was right there. It was in his grasp, just could not hold on to it.
Just playing center field back there. Seth Wardeen, the pass overthrown this time by Bain. Otherwise, he had a receiver open. You see just and out of the hands of Wardeen. Still life for the Tigers here in that first half. Wardeen would like to have that one back.
Only a sophomore. A couple more years ahead for him here in this Prairie Wolf football program. Second down and 10 again. Pass is complete. And it's Fahey who is spun and tackled by Michael Hittner. His forward progress takes him to the 30, about a yard short of the first down. So with 29 seconds left, timeout will be called, taken by Dakota Wesleyan. Quick break, back to Able Stadium after this on 21 Sports.
Hi, this is Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy. Did you know that proper insulation levels can help reduce your heating and cooling costs? You can check your attic insulation level with this very advanced high-tech tool called a ruler. Make sure you have 14 to 16 inches of insulation for maximum energy efficiency. It'll help reduce drafts and allow your heating and cooling systems to not have to work so hard. Think of it as saving money by the inches, $1, $2, $3, you get the idea. For more ways to save, visit les.com today. See you next time.
Dakota Wesleyan taking the timeout here with just 29 seconds remaining. And if they were to maybe get this first down, they could probably push it a little further if they still got some time left and maybe set up for a field goal. Again, within reasonable reach.
Well, as you say, the long on the year, 27 for Porter. So you'd think he probably has another 5 or 6 yards in him from there. So if they can get a 30 to 35 yard attempt, they might give it a shot. If not, they might take their chances and try and punch one in.
Bain down the far sideline, and it is intercepted, I believe, by Wardeen.
Now they're going to talk it over. Was he down?
Was he down?
Or is it a touchback? And he also looks like he might be shaken up. Let's take a look here. They're going to attend to Seth Wardeen out there. He does make the interception this time.
The ball will be placed at 2 yard line.
Maybe he just knocked the wind out of him. Let's take a look here. Wardeen. Yeah. I don't know, momentum carries in.
Well, right now they're marking it at the 2. Again, Wardine is down in the end zone. Now they got him up, and he'll be walking off here, and he'll come out here with 22 seconds to go before the end of the half. And Seth Wardine all over the place in that secondary, and such a huge asset for that Prairie Wolf defense. So now 1st and 10 from their own 2-yard line, with 22 seconds to go here before the end of the quarter and the end of the half. Francis under center as they stack that I. And Francis on a sneak play decides to keep it, takes it 2 yards up to the 4-yard line.
Well, that might be the last play of the half, as Nebraska Wesleyan content just to run the play, get the clock rolling. Dakota Wesleyan not going to burn any of their timeouts. Scoreless at the break. Defensive struggle here in the first half.
It's been all defense here between these two institutions, Dakota Wesleyan and Nebraska Wesleyan. We're scoreless here at halftime at Able Stadium. Back with more in a moment on 21 Sports.
Cycle here with a simple but important message. Recycling starts at home. That's right, it's up to you to take the first step. Setting up a home recycling system is easy, and you don't need much space. Find out how at recycle.lincoln.ne.gov. Recycling is good for our community and our planet, and you don't need to be a genius like me to get started. So do the right thing, the recycle thing.
Hi, this is Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy. Did you know that proper insulation levels can help reduce your heating and cooling costs? You can check your attic insulation level with this very advanced high-tech tool called a ruler. Make sure you have 14 to 16 inches of insulation for maximum energy efficiency. It'll help reduce drafts and allow your heating and cooling systems to not have to work so hard. Think of it as saving money by the inches, $1, $2, $3, you get the idea. For more ways to save, visit les.com today. See you next time.
Your life is what you make of it. In Lincoln, some are making it fun, some are making it successful, others are making it vibrant, refreshing, economical, creative, interesting. They're making Lincoln home. So, make it young, make it a family, make it a booming career, make it whatever makes you happy. Make your life right in Lincoln.
I'm Fred Olds, president of Nebraska Wesleyan University. This year we mark an important milestone, Nebraska Wesleyan's 125th anniversary. Join us on campus this fall for our anniversary kickoff celebration and homecoming activities. In addition, our students, faculty, staff, alumni, and friends will collectively take on a challenge to give 12,500 hours of volunteer time to community service. Check our website for event schedules, stories, and photos of today and yesteryear. All of us who share a sense of pride and ownership in Nebraska Wesleyan University have a wonderful opportunity this year to reconnect with friends, students, professors, and staff, and to celebrate all that we have accomplished together. I look forward to seeing you soon.